Hello students, welcome to class 11 biology. Today we will learn about chapter 5 biobotany, that is taxonomy and systematic botany. So here in this lesson we will learn how the plants are being classified and how they are preserved. Okay, see here taxonomy and systematics and taxonomic hierarchy. What is hierarchy? So species will be the basis and it is a basic unit of classification. After that we have the genus, collection of species makes genus. Likewise we have various organisms have been arranged in a particular order, particular level, that is what is called as the hierarchy. Then concept of species, which is morphological, biological and phylogenetic. Okay, see here you should understand the word morphological is about the external characteristic feature. Biologically how they are similar, whether they live on land or inside the water. Okay, so do they require water for the purpose of fertilization, like that. Then phylogenetic with reference to evolution. Then international code of botanical nomenclature that we will learn in detail, and taxonomic aids which are helpful in classifying the plants, that is what will come under taxonomic aids. And then botanical gardens. So gardens are being maintained for the purpose of maintaining some species of plants in and for the purpose of protecting them. Then botanical gardens and herbarium preparation uses, classification of plants. Then we will learn in detail about the selected families and the flowers, and then need of classification, types of classification. Then modern trends. So morphologically, physiologically we have been learning about the plants. Once it comes to the molecular level, at the genetic level, then you call it as the modern method, because it has been recently developed and it is a growing science. Okay, so modern trends in taxonomy, we will learn in detail about the molecular basis of each and every plant. Then we have cladistics, and that is the evolutionary tree. Then selected family. Under angiosperm we will learn about the Solanaceae family, and we will learn a type study also. So what is type study? We are taking example for a particular family and we will learn in detail. Okay, so here taxonomy has witnessed various phases in the early history to the present day modernization. So the need of knowledge of plants had been realized. Okay, so we are dependent on the plants. Plants are the only species which is able to synthesize food, and which in turn will be consumed by man. Okay, so Theophrastus is the father of botany. It is important for one more question. Theophrastus is the father of botany. He has named and described 500 plants. So later on, Greek physician described and illustrated in his famous Materia Medica book about the 600 medicinal plants. Okay, so 600 medicinal plants have been discussed in a book that is called as Materia Medica. And we have the books that is being written, that is called as Species Plantarum. Linnaeus Species Plantarum laid a strong foundation for binomial nomenclature. Binomial, two names. Nomenclature. What does the word nomenclature mean? Nomenclature means the naming of organisms. Okay, and then transdisciplinary, and not exactly the taxonomy, which will go and where we will get another information also about the evolution also we will get the information, that is what is called as transdisciplinary, is also helpful. See, making use of many branches of botany, it is being used by cell biology, physiology, biochemistry, ecology, pharmacology, modern biotechnology, molecular biotechnology and bioinformatics. So these are all transdisciplinaries, means we are going to classify the organism. If you classify certain plants to be the herbal plant or the medicinal plant, that will in turn be used by the biochemist for the preparation of the medicine. Likewise it goes on. Then we have the difference between taxonomy and systematics. Here taxonomy is the science of dealing with the study of naming of organisms. Here classifying the organism into taxa. Taxa is a unit. Then it governs the practice of naming, describing. How do you describe whether the plant is a herb or a shrub or annual or biennial. Yes, so that is what is called as it describing the plant with technical terms and identifying the specimen and preservation. Classification plus nomenclature gives the taxonomy. Then we will see about systematics. It is a broad field of biology that studies the diversification of species. What are the differences among the species? That is called as the diversification of species, and it governs the evolutionary history and phylogenetic relationship. Okay, so taxonomy plus phylogeny is called as the systematics. Species is the lowest of the classification, and it shows high levels of similarity among the organism. Okay, so which are all the organisms which is looking alike, the same species will look exactly alike. Okay, so example, Helianthus annuus and Helianthus tuberosus, these are two species, differ in their morphology. Both of them are herbs, and Helianthus tuberosus is a perennial herb. What is perennial? You must recollect what is perennial. Plant which is living for more than 2 years are called as the perennials. Okay. So coming to genus, consists of multiple species which have similar characters but differ from species of the other group. Example is Helianthus and Tridacus. Both of them shows the flower and floral arrangement, and they show the same kind of growth, but there are certain differences to make them differ from each other to come under different genus and family. So comprises of number of genera, genus put together to form the family. So they will have a similar characteristic feature. Okay, so as you can see towards right hand side, family name always ends with ACAE. Okay, CEAE. Okay, so C you will call it as Asteraceae. Okay, so they will come under the family. So all the families, many families put together to form the order, and orders together form the classes. Further it is forming the division. Okay, so then you have the classification. First, definition of systematics. It is a scientific study of kinds of diversity of organisms in all relationship among them. That is what is the systematics as described by Simpson. Then taxonomic hierarchy only we have been learning here, and here you have the names which is ending with phyta, then it is a division. Phytina, that ends with the subdivision. Opsida, that will be class. Idea, subclass. Ales, order, and Inaceae will be Astrinae, Innae. Okay, so Astrinae will be suborder. I'll just read this. Magnoliophytina and Astropsida and Asteridia and Astrales, Astrinae and Asteraceae, Asteroideae. Then Helianthus. Then Helianthus we have various species, Helianthus annuus and Helianthus tuberosum. So annuus, name itself tells you it is an annual plant. What is annual? Annual are the plants which is living for only 1 year, completes its life cycle. Then concept of species. Species is a fundamental unit of taxonomic classification. Species is a group of individual organisms which have the following character. A population of organisms which closely resemble each other, okay, and they descend from the common ancestor. Sexually producing organisms, and they interbreed freely in the nature. Okay, so once the interbreeding among the species occurs, the species produced are mostly 90% fertile. If there is going to be cross between the species of two different species, okay, they may come under the same genus, but they are two different species. Then the offspring is young one that is produced between two different species is called, that could be sterile. Okay, there is most of the chances where there is going to be breeding between two different species, then there is chance for it to be sterile. Okay, so types of species, there are different types of species, and they are process of evolution, product of evolution. Then morphological species, taxonomic species, when individuals are similar to one another, they are looking alike. Okay, and they are different, they are called as the morphological species. Biological species, according to Ernst Mayr, the group of population interbreed among themselves and they are isolated reproductively. Okay, they are reproductively isolated groups, then they are called as biological species. Then coming to phylogenetic species, this concept is given by Maglitz and Simpson-Willey. So Willey defined phylogenetic species as an evolutionary species. Okay, it is a species of evolutionary nature, evolutionary species in a single lineage of ancestor. Descendant populations which maintains its identity from other such lineage. Do you follow? So evolutionary species. See, first one species will be there if there is going to be change in the genetic makeup and it is bit evolved. Okay, so from Bryophyta and Pteridophyta is evolved. What is the major difference between Bryophytes and Pteridophytes? Bryophytes need water for the purpose of fertilization. Pteridophyte, they do not need water for purpose of fertilization. They can just produce the sporophyte and the spores. Okay, so here we have the descendant populations which is maintaining identity from and from other such lineage which has its own evolutionary tendency. Okay. Then coming to ICBN, this is most important for explanation and also for the expansion. International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. So, assigning name for the plant, assigning name, what is assigning? Giving name for the plant is called as the nomenclature. So, this is not being done simply. Once you are naming the plant, it should be done following certain rules. This is based on the rules and recommendations of the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. It deals with the naming of existing and extinct organisms. So, naming should be done carefully by noticing the existing organism and also the extinct organisms. The elementary rule of naming plants was first proposed by Linnaeus. Okay, so Linnaeus, he proposed it in 1751 in his Philosophica Botanica. It is the name of the book. Philosophia Botanica is the name of the book in which he has proposed the naming of plants. So in detail, a set of rules regarding the plant nomenclature was given by A.P. de Candolle in his famous work in the book Theorie Elementary de la Botanique. In this book, he has given the rules and regulations by which the plant is to be named. Okay, then they have framed the rules and they have just made it as a principle. That is what is ICN principle, International Code of Nomenclature. It is based on the following 6 principles. It is one of the important questions. Botanical nomenclature is independent of zoological and bacteriological nomenclature. It is not following the same rules that is being followed by the zoological, that is naming of animals, and also the bacteriological, naming of bacteria. Application of names of taxonomic group is determined by means of nomenclatural type. Nomenclature as a taxonomic group is based on priority of publication. So, if I publish one species and one name, that will be taken into consideration. If the same species is published by another person, will not be taken into consideration. That is what here it means by priority given for the publication. Each taxonomic group with a particular circumscription and position rank can bear only one correct name. We cannot give 2 names for one plant. That is what is explained in the 3rd point. Scientific names of the taxonomic groups are treated as Latin regardless of their derivation. So, wherever it can be brought from, it can be from different areas of southern place or the eastern place, but it is being named in Latin only, as it will go common for all the people worldwide. The rules of nomenclature are retractive unless expressly limited. Okay. Then codes of nomenclature. ICN has formulated a set of rules and recommendations, okay, to name the plants. Okay. So, 18th International Botanical Congress, so they have conducted the meeting in 2011 at Melbourne, Australia. They have made a few changes. Okay, the code new permits electronic publication of name of new taxa. Latin diagnosis or description is not mandatory. Okay, we can use English language also. It is recently formed. One fungus, one name, one fossil, one name are important changes, and it is concept of anamorph and telomorph. So morphotaxa for the fossils have been eliminated. Okay, morphotaxa is eliminated. Anamorph and telomorph is included. So anamorph and telomorph is important question. Asexual reproductive stage of fungi is anamorph. Telomorph is the sexual reproductive stage of fungus. Okay, as an experiment with the registration of the names, new fungal descriptions required. Okay, so if you are going to find a new fungi, you have to give its description before naming it. So naming should also have some meaning. There are two recognized repositories, Index Fungorum and Mycobank. So 19th International Botanical Congress was held in 2017. Changes accepted by International Botanical Congress are yet to be published. So it is not in action so far. Then vernacular names. What is vernacular names? It is a common name in a local language, in the local area and local language. For us it is Tamil. So everybody knows this word in language, that is what is the vernacular language. Vernacular names are known as the common names. They are very often descriptive and poetic references to the plant and the common name for the particular plant. Then we have scientific names and botanical name. Each and every taxon as per ICN can have only one correct name. Scientific name of the species is always binomial. As you know, binomial means one name will be the genus name, another name will be this species name. Example, Oryza sativa, which is the botanical name for the paddy. Polynomial is a descriptive phrase of the plant. Here, Ranunculus, Calicibus, Retroflexus, Penduculus, Falcatus, Caule, Erecto, Folius, Compositus. It means buttercup with reflexed sepal, curved flower stalks, erect stem and compound leaf. This is the name of the particular plant. Okay, so polynomial system of naming the plant is replaced by binomial system of nomenclature. Do you follow? So when we have the polynomial system, we have to name the organism in a very big way. So instead we can go in for this binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature was, you know, it was given by whom? Carolus Linnaeus. Example, Mangifera indica. It is a botanical name for common mango. Okay, Mangifera is a name, genus. Indica is for species. Okay, author citation. This refers to valid name of the taxa accompanied by the author's name who published the name validity. Example, Solanum nigrum. This is two types of author citation. Single author. When author proposed a valid name, the name of the author alone is accompanied by the abbreviation of the name. Okay, do you follow? Benth is the name of the scientist. That is also given at the back of the name of the particular species. Multiple author. If multiple author find the species, then it is called as etol. Et is the term used if it is going to be found by more than one person. Okay, so observation of the author's name is given. They are all the authors are the botanist who is doing and finding the species of plants. Linnaeus, L. dot, Bentham, Benth. dot, William Hooker, Hook. dot. Likewise, it goes on. Okay, then coming to taxonomic aids, it is most important question. Taxonomy is a classification of organism or the grouping of organism. It is being done with the help of the aids. Okay, they are required almost in all branches of biological studies for the proper identification and for finding the relationship among them. Okay, so keys, taxonomic keys are the tools. This is important definition ma. So taxonomic keys are the tools for the identification of unfamiliar plants. If you are going to see a new plant, if you want to find the name, you have to go in for this taxonomic keys. These keys are based on the characters which are stable and reliable. The most common type of key is dichotomous key. Most common type of taxonomic key is dichotomous key. It consists of the sequence of two contrasting statements. A pair of contrasting statement is a couplet. Each statement is known as the lead. The plant is correctly identified with the keys by narrowing down the characters found in the plant. What could be the characters that is found in the plant? You can just see the plant and you can say what that plant is. For example, if you have the flower which is cream colored and it is fruiting calyx enclosed the berry, then it belongs to Physalis. Okay, flowers are white or violet, fruiting calyx not closing the berry. Okay, so if it is going to be there B condition, then you have to go in for the next statement. Do you follow? See, corolla rotate, fruit is berry, then it will be the solanum. Corolla funnel shaped. Okay, so if it is going to form the funnel shaped structure and fruit is capsule, then you have to go for 3. So then you have to see about the 3. Do you follow what I say? So you see first 1. In that you are seeing point number 2, which means you have to see the point 2. Okay, flower white or violet. Follow? If it is going to be white or violet, then you have to go for point number 2. In this you have to find, in this two points are given under point 2. Corolla rotate, corolla funnel shape. So when you match it, you can see it will be rotate in structure. Then you have to go for point number 3. If you see the absence of the radical leaves, flowers are solitary. Solitary means single, not inflorescence. Okay, if it is going to be flower as a single, then you can call it as a datura. If it is going to be the inflorescence, then it is the nicotiana. Do you follow? I think you can follow. Based on the characteristic feature, first you have to see one character, then you have to go to the point which is set there. Go to point number 2, go to point number 4, like that. Okay, another type of key for identification is polyclave or multi-entry key. It consists of list of numerous characters. The users select all the state and match the specimen. Okay, polyclave key, here number of points will be given. Flower white in color, yes, you have to put the tick. And corolla is funnel shape. Then if it is going to be funnel shape, you have to put tick. Okay, the corolla is polypetalous. If it is given, then if you have to see your flower. If it is not polypetalous, you should not tick it. Then you have to find what is opposite term. Gamopetalous. Okay, so you have to tick gamopetalous. Likewise, when you tick all the points whichever you are having in your hand, then you have to match it. Okay, so when the number you have to match, number of characteristic feature matches with this. So at least you can find what family does it belong to. Do you follow? So likewise, that is what is called as polyclave or multi-entry key. Then coming to botanical garden. So, in true sense, all gardens are not botanical gardens. They are the centers. Botanical gardens are the centers of collection of plants. Okay, so in the various living stages. What is various living stage? It may be gametophyte, or it may be fruiting, or it may not. It will be very young, or it will be germinating. Do you follow this? These are all the different stages of life of a plant. Germination, growing, giving flowers, producing fruit, or the different stages of the plant. And garden existed for growing ornamental plants for aesthetic value. Aesthetic is the recreational value, religious, and they have some reason for that. The famous hanging garden of Babylon is Mesopotamia is an example. For the purpose of science and education, the first garden was maintained by Theophrastus in his public literature. Okay, first modern botanical garden was established by Luca Ghini, a professor botany at Pisa, Italy. Botanical garden consists of the special plant collection. Botanical garden consists of a special plant collections. Okay, and the names of the plants is given. And the worldwide there are about 1800 botanical gardens are being described. What is why they are built up? Why the botanical gardens are being built up? There is certain role. Okay, botanical gardens play a major role for the aesthetic value, okay, which attract the people, and also it gives a relaxation for the people, and large number of visitors visit the place. And the gardeners have wide ranges of species, and they supply taxonomical material. When you want to have a specimen, or you want to know, you want a sample of a particular plant, it can be got from the botanical garden. Okay, so then it is an integrate information for diverse field like anatomy, embryology, phytochemistry, cytology, physiology and ecology. It acts as a conservation center, so they are preserving all the plant specimen. That is what is said as conservation center for diversity, and it is for the rare and endangered species. It offers annual list of available species and for free exchange of seed. Botanical garden gives information about methods of propagation, sale of plant material or the general public. So example is given, Royal Botanic Garden, Kew, England. So Royal Botanical Garden, here non-departmental public body in the United Kingdom. It is the largest botanical garden in the world. Okay, so which is the largest botanical garden? Royal Public is England is the largest botanical garden. Then about the herbaria. Herbarium, as we were discussing in the live class, herbaria are the preserved specimen. Herbaria are storehouse for the preserved plant collection. Plants are preserved in the form of pressed and dried specimen mounted on the sheet of paper. So mounted, when you have to take the plant and it should be mounted on the sheet of paper. Plants are preserved in the form of the pressed and dried specimen. Okay, herbaria act as a center for research and functions as a source material for the work. It is giving the source material for the working with the certain kind of plants. Herbarium specimen is defined as a pressed and dried plant sample that is permanently glued. Okay, it should be glued on a paper and is strapped out to the sheet, okay, along with the documentational label. So you have to label the plant also. Plant collection, field collection, liquid preservation collection, living collection, collection of molecular studies. So documentation of field site data, preparation of plant specimen, mounting herbarium specimen, herbarium labels, protection of herbarium sheets against the molds and insects. Once the plants are getting preserved onto the paper, there is all chance of the molds. Molds are the fungus. There is chance for the fungus to grow on the moisture that is present onto the plant. Okay, so to avoid that, it should be properly treated with the chemical. Okay, so and then uses of herbarium. So uses of herbarium is also important question. Herbarium provides the resource material for the systematic research and studies. It is a place for orderly arrangement of the voucher specimen. Okay, so when the herbarium specimens can be collected and it should be arranged. Okay, as you see the books in the library, these herbarium specimens can also be arranged. See, you can see here voucher specimens serves as a reference. When you want to know about a particular plant or you want to identify a plant, you can take a voucher specimen and you can compare it with the specimen, fresh specimen whichever you have collected. Okay, so and it plays a major role in the study of floristic diversity, environmental assessment, ecological mechanism and survey of an unexplored area. Then herbarium provides opportunity for documenting biodiversity. As you know, biological diversity, variations among the plants. So we have variations or diversity among the plants for them to occupy the suitable space and to avoid competition among them. Okay, so then name of the herbarium, Kew Herbarium is given. Kew Garden is situated in the southwest London, where the largest and most diversified botanical garden is seen, and where you have the preserved specimen of fungi also. That is what is said here. Mycological collection is seen in this Kew Herbarium. Okay, so living collection include more than 30,000 kinds of different plants. So 30,000 plants are being grown here, and it is being maintained. Okay, and for the reference, while herbarium, which is one of the largest in the world, over 7 million preserved specimens are seen. The library contains 7,50,000 volumes of the preserved specimen. So here this is interesting. How to create the herbarium specimen is given step by step. Okay, preparation of herbarium specimen. First you have to collect, then you have to certain data are to be recorded at the time of collection. From where are you collecting, which place it is being collected, that should be mentioned. And preparation of plant specimen. So plant specimen collected from the field is to be pressed immediately. Okay, so to avoid all the moisture, we have to press it immediately using the wooden log. Okay, so then mounting the herbarium specimen, once it is getting dried up completely, it should be treated. Okay, so it should be treated with the help of the insecticide. Then you can just paste it onto the paper using the glue or sellotape. The picture is given, and it should be labeled. So labeling must include the name of the plant and also its classification, stating its family, order, genus and species. So protection of the herbarium can be done with the help of 2% mercury chloride, naphthalene, DDT, carbon disulfide. So fumigation, what does this fumigation word mean? It is like producing the vapor. Okay, so once you just allow it to be in that vapor, it will get dried up and it will not allow the fungus to grow. Okay, so then international herbarium names are being given, and along with the number of specimens. Then coming to classification of plants. So classification of plants we will learn in next class, that is 5.8. So far we have learned about herbarium and how to produce the herbarium, and what are the natural herbarium specimens and how it is maintained in the Kew Herbarium, and about the botanical garden we have learned, and how to name the plants and hierarchy of the plants. Okay, and species concept is important. Under species concept we have learnt about morphological, biological and phylogenetic species. Okay, so it's your you have to take notes while you are listening to the class. Here 2 question answer you should write as homework, that is ICN principle. So all the 6 all the 6 points you should write under ICN principle, that is one. Other one, steps in preparation of herbarium. Okay, so you can write 2 questions as your homework and submit it for correction. Thank you students.